Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? I don't know why every time I start the stream I just feel so tired all of a sudden. What up? What up? Turn stream and body wants to nap? Yeah, I know. Ugh, I don't know why. Got a haircut? Yeah, I cut my own hair. Yesterday? I think. What was yesterday? Not yesterday, Sunday. I cut it Sunday. Sunday? I cut it sometime this weekend, past weekend. Let's see. We'll watch some videos or something. In the last 72 hours, yeah. They're not human. Watch government officials break silence on non-human life. It's probably the same old videos over and over again.
Tonight, we get a first look at a new documentary.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find like something cool to watch. $30 million views. The one pot meal that made me famous. I wouldn't consider him famous, but okay.
Congratulations, you've officially...
I guess famous is a low standard now. Yeah, let's watch this video.
made it to soup season, and as a certified soup lover, I feel that it is my duty to pass down one of the all time. Don't look at me when I do this. Now, creamy chicken gnocchi soup is not only one of my most popular recipes, it also
Creamy
happens to be my
chicken
wife's
gnocchi
favorite, which means
soup?
I make it
Ugh.
a lot, but
No,
that
I'm
also
kidding.
means that over time
They
I've
look
found
good.
ways to make it even better. So stick around if you like soup. To start, we're going to be making our gnocchi from scratch, which you don't technically have to do.
Gnocchi.
There's nothing wrong with using a pre-made packaged gnocchi. They're great. They work well. But for something like this, where it already doesn't take a ton of time to make the soup, why not
This
put a
kitchen
little bit
looks
more
good.
effort in and
Yeah,
make your
I mean,
gnocchi
I
from
hope
scratch?
so. That
So
he
if you're
does
gonna
this
join me in making
professionally.
gnocchi
So,
from scratch, the first thing you're gonna need
like
is about a pound
YouTube
of potatoes,
cooking professionally, I should
specifically
say.
Yukon Gold potatoes. And you really have two ways to cook them. Technically, there's a third way, but that third way is boiling them. And if you boil them, you're adding extra moisture into your potatoes, and then sometimes it can mess with
Your
the texture of your
potatoes?
gnocchi, which I'm assuming you also don't want. So for the two methods, you have the first, which is baking. Throw them in the oven, 375 for about 45 to 60 minutes, depending on how big the potatoes are, and they're cooked. But the second option that you have is to just
45
take your
to
potatoes,
60.
place them on a microwave-safe plate, cover them with a nice damp towel, and throw them in your microwave for 5 minutes at a time, rotating them around until they're cooked all the way through. Usually like 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how big your potatoes are. I don't see anything wrong with either method. The only difference is if you're gonna do it in the oven, it's going to take you longer. But if you do it in the microwave, you have to be a little more hands-on. So up to you. Now, once your potatoes are cooked, you're taking the same steps. Your cooked potato inside a ricer,
I
or you can
microwave.
peel it and throw it onto a fine mesh strainer or a sieve, and then just scrape it through. But you're just gonna wanna push it through your ricer and get it all nice and mashed. This is one of the reasons I really like using a ricer, because you don't have to peel your potato before you throw it into it. It just like squeezes around it, and then you just take your peel out afterwards.
That's cool.
And I like to also make sure that I'm grabbing any of the potato that's squeezed out the sides and made its way to the top, because that's still good potato that we want to make sure we rice out. Then we're just going to scrape off the bottom, make sure we get all of our potato, and then we'll just kind of fold it all together into a nice little mash. Make sure I didn't miss any clumps.
He's
It's
making
all
mashed
fully cooked
potatoes.
and nice and soft. And now into this, we're going to add 2 egg yolks, just the yolks, not the whites. You could alternatively just use 1 full egg with the white instead of just using 2 egg yolks. Again, words are hard, but it's not going to be as creamy and it's not going to be as rich.
Damn, he broke
it's
it.
a trade-off. But it is a
That
little
was
bit easier to work with if you're just using.
That was
one
me
full
last
egg.
week
We're just
cooking
gonna
breakfast.
Mash that in a bit, just to kind of get it spread out. And now I've got about a cup of flour that I'm going to run through the sieve. I want to make sure I get out any clumps so it's nice and smooth.
Does he like spill some on the
A
side?
nice shaggy dough, it's probably best to just move on to using your hands because it's going to be a lot easier. And then just continue to press and fold it together until it's nice and smooth. This will
That's too
definitely
much
take a little bit
work.
of time.
I'd rather
If your
just
dough
buy
is
the
not coming
gnocchi
together
from
and you feel like it's too dry, just keep working it a little bit, because the worst thing you can do is add more liquid to this, but when you don't need it. As you can tell, mine was looking pretty dry, but now it's actually a little bit on the wet side. I'm just gonna add in a little bit more of my flour. This is 100% a game of patience and trusting yourself. It's gonna come together. And eventually, after you've worked in all of your flour, you're gonna end up with a nice, smooth ball, like this. And you'll know it's good when you press on it and it bounces back. Now you're just gonna go ahead and split that in half. I'm gonna sprinkle down a little bit of flour, and we're just gonna roll each piece of dough.
Why is
to
he
about a 1/2
sifting
inch
the
thick
flour
ball.
that he puts down?
And it helps if you start your roll in the center and then push that dough out to help spread it out. And even more so if your dough is getting too long, just split it in half. And then once we have a thickness that we like all the way across, we're just going to chop our pieces relatively evenly. Now, once you have all these nice little gnocchi pillows, you're just going to dust it with a little bit of flour just to make sure that they don't stick to each other.
Gnocchi,
Like this.
I haven't
This is
had
why you
pasta in
should have
forever.
dusted a little bit earlier, but I was just trying to get through all of it, trying to rush through, and now look, I made more work for myself. Shame on me. And now once you have all these beautiful little gnocchi pillows, you have two options. You can just leave them like this, which is totally fine. They're beautiful and everybody loves them. Or if you don't have one of those gnocchi boards, you can take a fork, place down your gnocchi, give it a little thumb pressure, and just roll it. That'll give you a relatively similar result without having to buy the thing. But I'm gonna be honest, for something like this, going through and trying to roll all of these singular pieces of gnocchi, it's not worth it. So I'm just going to do those 3.
I'm gonna be honest,
They're
it
gonna be
looked
my
ugly.
special 3 that when I find later in my soup, I'm gonna be stoked about. And in the meantime, I'm just going to move all of these gnocchi over to a sheet tray until we're ready to cook. And leaving
Because
these on the
technically it's
countertop
not
is
pasta,
okay. You just wanna
yeah.
make sure you cover it with a damp towel so that way it doesn't get all dried out. And now for the chicken
think
part
I've
of
ever
our
had
creamy
it.
chicken gnocchi soup, chicken thighs. Now in the past, I used chicken breast because it's sitting in
It
a
seems
soup,
like
so it's not
potatoes
exactly
and
going
that's
to
it.
dry out. But even though it technically speaking is not going to dry out the same way, it's still not going to have the best mouthfeel. So that's why I started using chicken thighs. Now, these are boneless and skinless, but of course there's still a little bit of fat on these that I just want to trim off because, again, it doesn't contribute to the mouthfeel when you're chewing on a piece of chicken fat. It is also a really good time to inspect the underside for any bone fragments that may have been left behind because, while yes, these are boneless, skinless, things happen, and the last thing you want to do is chip a tooth on a piece of chicken bone. Now, once you have these all nicely trimmed and laid out, you just want to hit them with a little drizzle of olive oil. This is just going to help our seasoning bind to our chicken. Make sure we get every nook and cranny because we don't want there to be any bare spots. And now to season our chicken, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's up to you. It really is. Like, this is a perfect time for you to be like, hey, let me try something different. Let me try something new. As long as the flavors of your chicken go along with the flavors of the soup, which is pretty broad, really, you're gonna be okay. But if you really do want measurements, then here we go. Roughly 3 tablespoons of garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of onion powder. I don't know why I haven't punched the holes in this thing any bigger, because every time I do this, it just makes a cloud of onion powder smoke, and I breathe it in and it hurts. About a tablespoon of paprika. Ooh, that's a little bit more.
How's that a
Again, that's okay.
tablespoon?
And about a tablespoon of dried oregano. And of course, salt and pepper. I refuse to take this glove off because I'm gonna have to rub this into the chicken in a second. Cool, that's a lot more pepper than I thought it was. It's okay, it's gonna work. Now you could also just use a spice rub that you like. This is a great time to use one of those. Save you some time, save you some energy. But again, it's really all just personal preference. Just as long as your chicken is completely covered in seasoning, you're good. And now for the last little bit of prep,
feel like
before
I
we
would've
actually
just
cook everything. We're gonna start off
put
by
a
finely
different
dicing
glove on.
one shallot. In my case, I have this extremely large double shallot. You don't need that, just the one. And now I just want this to be a nice fine dice, so I'm just gonna slide my knife through the sides, and then I'm gonna go
He needs to
straight
sharpen his
down,
knife.
holding it together as best I can, and then rotate, and then dice accordingly. I I know there's a better way to chop shallots. I just refuse to do it. But anyways, just move that to the side, and we are going to crush and roughly chop some garlic. 6 pieces to be exact. Don't forget to strip these bad boys down because you don't want to be munching on garlic skin. And you don't want to cut this down into a paste, but you do want it to be fairly small because you want it to blend into the soup. Something like this is perfect. And now for the last bit of prep, we have sun-dried tomatoes. My finger strength took off a little bit of the label, and I thought it was mold. It's not mold, it's just the label. Now you want about a 4th cup of sun-dried tomatoes, but honestly, like, it's personal preference. This is one of those things where, like, my wife loves sun-dried tomatoes, so I honestly probably could get away with more sun-dried tomatoes, but I think right around a 4th cup is a nice balance for this. But I'm also not going to judge you if you use more. I'm not that kind of guy. And for this, we just want to cut it into nice
sun-dried tomatoes.
Small pieces. You don't want it minced, but you also don't want long, stringy pieces of sun-dried tomato. So if you get the ones that are in the jar that are already julienned, great, but you're still probably gonna wanna cut those up at least a little bit. And that is all of it. And now to cook all of this, I'm gonna be using a very large Dutch oven. How large, you might be wondering? Well, I'm not sure right now, but hey, thank you, future me. Now the first thing we're gonna be cooking is our chicken. So we're gonna wanna bring this up to a medium-high heat so we can saute it. And now that our pot has sat for about 10 minutes and is adequately preheated, Italian food lube or olive oil. Then we're just gonna carefully lay down our chicken thighs, making sure that they don't overlap. And if your pot is not wide enough to do all of your chicken thighs at one point, that's totally okay. Just go ahead and do it in batches. Better for it to take a little bit longer than for you to overcrowd your pot. The important thing here is that you're using the same pot that you're gonna cook your soup in, because that way all the flavor cooks together. And then after about 2 minutes on that first side, you're gonna go ahead and flip each piece over and then let it sear again on the other side. And then after another 2 minutes, you're gonna go ahead and flip again, and you're just gonna do this 2 to 3 times until your chicken is fully cooked. And now that our chicken is cooked at right about 155, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it and let this all rest. Now, technically speaking, chicken is supposed to be cooked to 165, but at 155, it's still hot. It's still cooking right now, so it's going to get up to 165, but do what you're comfortable with. Now, in this same pot, we're gonna turn our heat down to medium-low. And as long as you still have a solid amount of oil left in your pot, you don't have to add any more. But what you do want to add is your shallots, garlic, and sun-dried tomatoes. And you're just going to want to keep this moving all around your pot, that way nothing burns, and it just becomes nice and fragrant. And after about 3 minutes, or once it all starts to cook down and those shallots become translucent, you're going to want to add your tomato paste. Right about a tablespoon and a half of tomato paste.
It's definitely more than a tablespoon and a half.
Garlic powder, a tablespoon of paprika, a tablespoon of dried oregano, and a tablespoon of red chili flakes. Or again, your preferred spice blend. And we're just going to mix all that together so that way our tomato paste is nice and toasted, as well as all of our spices. And once that raw tomato paste smell is cooked all the way down, we're going to add in 6 cups of high quality chicken broth. Now, you want to use something that's high quality because in something like this, so the chicken broth really is a big component, right? So if you cheap out on your chicken broth and you get something that isn't super flavorful,
why is he pouring it that way?
Just weak all around,
not the other way.
You're going to end up tasting it in the end, or not tasting it. So this is definitely one of those times where I would recommend you either make your chicken stock from scratch or you spend a little bit more and get something that's a little bit nicer. But I totally get this stuff is not necessarily super affordable, so if you want to, you can always use a cheaper stock and try to fortify it yourself. It's just a little bit more work. Now from here, we're gonna wanna go ahead and bring this up to a nice simmer while we stir.
Splash of paste, yeah.
It's also an important time to scrape the bottom of your pan because all that flavor from when we cooked our chicken is cooked onto the bottom in that beautiful fond that you don't wanna miss out on. And now that we have this going at a nice simmer, we're gonna let this ride for about 15 minutes without a lid on, because if we put a lid on it, it's going to trap all the moisture in there. What we want is for some of that water to evaporate, so that way our soup gets nice and condensed with all that flavor. Now after that 15 minutes, you're gonna wanna go ahead and add in your heavy cream. We're going to carefully pour in about 4 cups of heavy cream.
Chunky heavy cream,
stir that
damn.
in nice and slow. You're also gonna wanna grate in about 2 cups or about 175 grams of fresh Parmigiano Reggiano. Please do not use that pre-grated crumbly stuff in a can. It's not what you want for this. It's not going to be good. Save that for your pizza. Or even like, just don't use that at all. And then just make sure you stir in all that cheese until it's nice and melted. Now we're just gonna wanna bring this back up to a light simmer. Again, we wanna leave this uncovered because we want it to thicken up. But this time, we're gonna wanna make sure we're stirring at least every minute to 2 minutes so that way nothing burns to the bottom. And you know, at this point, you're probably wondering why I use such a large pot.
It's like, why do I have the appetite of a 6-year-old? Because you're
Let me
fat.
tell you why. Because I make this soup enough to know if you don't have enough space between the top of your soup and the top of your pot, you're going to end up with most of your soup all over your countertop every time you stir it. It's just the way it is. So to me, it only makes sense to use a larger pot so that way you have a higher sidewall here to protect from spillage. And now that this has been simmering for about 30 minutes, you can see our soup has really started to thicken up. It's not too thick like it would be in a sauce, but it has thickened up enough to give us that nice creamy texture in our soup. At this point, we can go ahead and turn our heat down to medium-low because we just want to basically keep it warm at this point, and we're going to taste and adjust for our salt. Because while we did add all those flavorings and seasoning from before, we didn't add any salt because at that point we still wanted to cook down our soup. So if we would have salted it then, it would have been great, but then as it cooked down and some of that water evaporated, we would have ended up with something that was a little too salty. Obviously need salt. Better, but still more salt. And this might be more or less for you. It really depends on your personal preference on how much salt you want in your soup. Not necessarily how much salt you want in your soup from a sodium intake standpoint, but what tastes good. So you'll just have to taste it and adjust to your liking, which is great because you're gonna learn that taste, you're gonna learn that adjustment, that specificity, and you're gonna apply that to everything you cook. And now this is a great point to cut up our chicken and add it back into our soup. Now this chicken has just been sitting here.
This video has been taking too long, but it's almost done. I was gonna double speed it.
And it's cooked itself all the way through. And then once that's all nice and cubed up, we can go ahead and just carefully add that into our soup. Remember, the soup is hot and will splash and hurt, so please be careful. And now for the last thing that we need to cook, our gnocchi. But remember, if you're using the pre-made gnocchi, you can just
I feel like that's not even enough gnocchi.
Until it's cooked through. But because we're using fresh gnocchi, it's got a little extra flour on it. We want to make sure we cook that off separately. The reason we want to boil it separately for the fresh gnocchi is because there's a lot more flour on it, and we don't want that to thicken up our soup and get all gunky in there. So we're going to set this pot to boil. Obviously, a very heavy pinch of salt and some boiling water, followed by our pillowy goodness. And one of the niceties of making fresh gnocchi is that it really doesn't take very long to cook, 2 to 3 minutes tops, and once it's floating to the top, you know it's done. And then we'll just fold all this in together. And to finish it all off, we have a nice handful of some ready-to-party washed spinach. Remember, spinach cooks down really easily, and it's going to shrink, so even though this looks like a lot, it's not going to be a lot in a few minutes. We're also going to tear in a little bit of fresh Italian parsley, roughly 4 to 5 stems worth. And if you have it, fresh basil is really nice as well. You don't need to cut it up, you just pluck it off of your plant. Hopefully you have a plant. And then you can just layer it all up and give it a few nice tears. And all you need to do from here is just stir it all together.
Looks good at least.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I really hope that you learned something. Here's a photo of me at the park, and I'll see you next week.
Surprised the thing he was standing on in the park didn't break from how fat he is. I'm just kidding. All right, let's go. We're going straight to Metroid. Whoops, hang on. Switch this. Let me switch this. Haha, I'm not an amateur today. It's amateur hour over here. Boop. Today's the day we beat it. Just kidding. I don't even know how far we are from the game. I want to say we're like halfway, but I really don't know. Let's see. Extras. Nope. I was hoping you'd tell us. Play. Completion 41%. 7 hours and 45 minutes. Did I miss any boss battles? I don't know. If you missed it, you missed it, man. Should have watched the VOD. Now you're screwed. Phase Online. Okay. Where the hell am I going? I guess I was supposed to go here? Talon Overworld? Overworld. Oh, while you're purple? Yeah. I already went to the water area too. Chozo Ruins East. Reactor core. I guess I already did all this. Why am I here? I can't go here yet. I don't. Maybe I can go here. Don't worry, guys. I'm leaving. There we go. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, the purple is the anti-gravity suit one, where I can go in the water like nothing. And bam! I feel like I shouldn't be here though. I forgot where I'm supposed to go. Wait. Is there any... Like, no, I need the grapple here. Magma. Like, I could have sworn he gave me like a question mark thing of where to go next, but I don't see it. Reactor core? No, I've already done all this. I saw before I left, but you weren't. You were underwater, so didn't actually see the change. Yeah. Yeah, you missed it all, man. Like usual, you missed everything. How about I try coming here next, I guess. The maintenance tunnel and just go through here. There's a reason why I saved it here. That's what I'm not getting. Fuck. I already forgot what I did. Now. I hope it comes back, like the question mark thing. I have no idea. Easy. Oops. The ice one's so easy because they just freeze. Oh. Hello. How do I get here? So this one? Ah. But I can't even go there because I don't have the weapon for it. What? I missed. Okay. I am trying to go here. I gotta go up there. Oh, right here. Oh, I gotta go through the steps, man. My missiles! Honestly, I'm about to just use a super missile. Like this. Bam! Go on. Instantly. The only issue is it costs so much. It costs like 5 missiles just to shoot the super missile. Oh! Ah! This is being made to me. What the hell? Oh, I missed. Boom, baby! It's one of those days for Rex. Man, you guys suck. I should be able to... Did this reset or something? No, I gotta go to the red. My clothes just finished drying too, so I gotta grab them. Oh my god, I lost a lot of health. Ow. Okay. Let's see. And then from here, as we're going down, yeah, let's try it. Just me in the background trying to keep my sanity. At least you don't. Do you have any meetings? Any calls? What the fuck was that? Oops. Okay. Thought this was something, but I guess not. Nice but there will be meetings today 9 a.m. My boss calls, giving us top priority stuff to do. So let me go. Tell him I said to eat a bag of dicks. Whoops. I am supposed to go here. Yesterday, my day on calls worked till about 11 p.m. Ooh. That's not bad, 11 p.m. What the hell? All radiation down there. Oh, 11 p.m. I'm thinking of 11 a.m. I wonder. I guess it's just easier to shoot it down with rockets. Oh, I can't go here because it's a red door. I have to go up. Woo, I almost fell. I gotta go up there. Oops. Got it? Nice. No! Oh my god. Okay. Speed run. I almost did it. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Whee! Easy. Alright, let me grab my clothes. Give me a sec. Let me heat up taquitos too, I guess. I have a public sub from yesterday. I'm about to eat. Wish I could just grab something and eat it really quick, but there's nothing. Okay. I'll be right back.
Progressive Commercial Insurance offers affordable small business protection. You can receive discounts on commercial auto insurance for safe driving and paying in full. And get customizable coverages for your business. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes.
Just give me a little bit longer.
Seedy, breaking those DB's ankles is not very nice. But those routes sure are. Woo! Santa approves that sideline swagger.
Alright, I'm back. Put a few taquitos in the toaster oven. So I'll just wait on that. I finally got kitchen cabinets yesterday, so hopefully when we're back from Georgia, I think I can start cooking again. Maybe. If not, you're fucked. Can I? Boom, baby. Where does this lead me? Like I was at a cool lounge? What do you mean? Crying myself to sleep? What do you do for dinner? You just go out every time? Or order out? Magmore Caverns. Why? I can't go here either. Where the fuck do I go? Must be running out of ideas now. Order out every night? What the hell? I'm okay. I cannot order out every single night. I'm not rich anymore. For real. Please don't say pizza. When I'm having an option, can't cook because I don't have a sink to wash dishes or counter space. Yeah, I feel like you can make do. Go outside and wash the pots with the hose. Just say you want to eat out. I'm actually not sure where to go. Where's the hint? Public sub, play Tropical Chicken Kitchen. We actually had that recently and it was pretty ass, I'm not gonna lie. Probably Chinese today, Cuban on Sunday. Burger has me where I can't breathe, yeah. At least they pay you well. Crossway. Where's that chamber? that chamber? Hmm. Let me see something. Be gone! Easy enough. Easy. Open sesame. It's timed? Oh! No! Oh, I thought it was timed. Dun, 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 dun. I could go for some sushi. Six is just too expensive. Oh, this is timed. Dun, 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 dun. All this just for like a small upgrade, probably. Yep. Just for a small upgrade. Lame. Doesn't like sushi, so we're not so we're even limited in options. Not a fan either. Wow. You guys just haven't had good sushi. Ow. Fuckers. Yes, I'll save. Oop. Everything has salmon sushi, but it's so expensive. Oh yeah, you're allergic to shrimp. Couldn't be me. Okay, I'm here now. Where did I fight? An allergen test? Never. And I've never had an issue. And what? Is it this one? Place blocks a tunnel. Huh. Oh, I'm actually dumb. I'm trying to think of where I got the light beam from, or the ice beam, I should say. I don't seem to remember. Was it here? Yeah, I cannot remember. I don't think it was here. It was maybe here. No, it was definitely here. I already did this. Where do I go? I can't go here because I need the hook. Can I go here? The Tower of Light. It's probably such a useless upgrade in here too. I guess we'll go here. How do I get here? No. Oh, it's only the magma place. Fuck. Alright, let's go back. To the magma place we go! Wow. 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 Best viewers, how will you do it? Allen Overworld? No, I need to go to the other place. Taking a minute to figure out how to ban someone. I gotta go here, Treasure Ruins. No, they're back. I can't go up there unless I have the hook, it looks like. Yeah, because I'd hook here and then go there and so on, so. My Tiki toes are done. Let me grab them.